Fires quickly to Karlstrom, who's going to come up just short of the first down. Going to put them in about a 4th and 1 situation here. Interesting to see if the Profs keep the offense on the field or send the field goal unit out there.
They did it earlier this drive. I say go for it again.
Especially in such a short yardage situation, it kind of opens up other avenues of offense. You don't have to rely on the pass. Now in a 4th and 2, the run is a viable option. No surprise really to see Husney staying out there.
Yeah, and this is where his scrambling ability can be really deadly.
And it's Ifriki lined up in the backfield with Husney. Husney takes a snap, hands off to Ifriki, who gets stood up at the line. He's going to be just short of the first down yardage. So it was a solid drive that Rowan was putting together. They went for it on 4th and short here in deep into Springfield territory and came up just short, but I still like the decision.
Yeah, no, I like the decision to go for it, and honestly, props to Springfield College. Rowan was driving there a little bit, and they said that was enough, so props to them.
So now Springfield offense, this option offense will be taking over. Is now busting to the outside, but getting stood up by the Props. It's Isaiah Castwell-Doe on the first carry. We saw, obviously as a team that likes to run the ball, but they don't have necessarily one lead back. It seems like everyone on this offense is capable of carrying the rock.
Yeah, in an offense like this, you have your linemen and you have your guys who run the ball, really,
Now the handoff as Springfield's going to rumble ahead for a gain of extra yardage, and that's going to be enough for the first down.
Yeah, and that's some good old-fashioned football right there, just hit the defender's head on and keep your feet moving. It's a nice little run.
It is such an unusual form of offense, but it is very similar to what NJAC opponent Salisbury runs, which is why Coach Accorsi decided to schedule this game. He thought it would prepare his team for later on in the season, because you don't really see too many offenses like this at the college level.
No, it's very old school.
As it looks like that's going to be a jump on the side of Springfield. Looks like it was John Weber who was just a little early on that one. And it will be a false start on John Weber. So after picking up the first down on the first play of the new set of downs, John Weber jumps off and makes it 1st and 15 now for the Pride. Handoff now by Wells. That's going to be a gain of about 6 for Springfield. It was Tim Callahan on the carry who had most of their rushes. Unusual, we see Springfield likes to use the fullback a little bit more than most teams do. It was Callahan and Ladis last week who both carried the ball 12 times.
Yeah, they love running the fullback dive. You read the defensive end and the quarterback makes the decision whether to give it to the fullback or pull it.
As Wells now looks over to the sideline and looks to make an adjustment. A little bit of a confusion here from the Springfield offense, it looks like. And the handoff from Wells to Callahan once again. That time, a gain of about 3 or 4.
And earlier we talked about how an offense are missing Farah. It looks like for Rowan's defense, Malachi Winters, number 1, isn't out there right now. And he had a shoulder injury the year before last, and in the first game of the season he was playing really well, and then I think he re-injured it or something, so hopefully get him back on the field soon too.
Yeah, the senior out of Hamilton not on the field right now for the Profs. And that could be a big blow to this Props defense, as now the handoff once again to Callahan is going to storm ahead and get the first down by just about a yard.
and playing a team like Springfield, you want experienced guys out there, you know, and not having winners is definitely going to hurt. So it looks like Hazem Bruce is in his spot, and I'm looking for him to step up in this game in Winter's absence.
And if there's a game where you don't have Winters, this might be the game, you know, that safety position, not the most important in a game where Springfield runs this type of offense. Is now Wells fakes the handoff and fires deep down the field, and that pass is going to be broken up by Calvin Harper, but the flag is going to come in. So Wells looks like he had the man open downfield, kind of underthrew him a little bit, and Harper got tripped up trying to recover and made contact.
Yeah, that was just great coverage. I don't really know what they saw there, to be honest. I'm not trying to be too harsh on the refs, but that was really good coverage by Rowan.
So the pass interference call will give 15 yards and a fresh set of downs to the Pride here, as the pass interference was on Calvin Harper, the sophomore out of Englewood, New Jersey.
And we were just talking about how the inexperience of safety might hurt Rowan in this game. There was an example right there, even though I think it wasn't PI, but
the Rowan faithful certainly was not happy about it, but regardless, this play starting at the 45 for Springfield, as the handoff only goes for a gain of 2 to Pat Latus. Again, Latus ran for 12. He had 12 rushes in last week's game for 37 yards and a touchdown for the Springfield Pride.
Yeah, he's a big boy, man. You don't want to be having to eat him in the whole one-on-one.
It's going to be 2nd and 7 now for Springfield. As it's still Wells out there under center. Wells hands off to Latus. He fakes the handoff and pitches outside, and that's going to be a gain of about 8.
That was a beautiful execution right there on Wells with the triple option. You know, he read the end, saw that he was crashing, took the ball, and then pitched it to the outside to Cashville Doe, got the first down.
Yeah, certainly had me fooled.
Yeah, for sure. And that's a great example of how the triple option works well. You know, you get playmakers out in space on the edge with those pitches.
So the play goes for enough for a first down for Springfield. And now they set up at the 34. Motion in the backfield. Wells looks to throw again, and no one home for that one, as another flag's going to come in. So another PI it looks to be.
Yeah, I thought they were going to make up for the last PI call there. But, yeah, that definitely looked like some pass interference. We got there a little too early.
And it was Miles Cook on the play.
And I think Rowan's honestly surprised they've already seen 2 passes this early in the game, you know.
Springfield only threw the ball. They only attempted 6 passes in all of last game, and now here we are with 5 minutes and change left to play in the first quarter, and Springfield's already thrown twice.
They're already almost halfway there, you know.
So another fresh set of downs here for Springfield. So Springfield now will set up from the 23. Wells takes the snap and hands off to Latus, who once again storms ahead for about 8.
And this is not the ideal start for the Rowan's defense in this game. Seeing Springfield just kind of drive on them a little bit here is it's not the best start.
We knew it was going to be a challenge for the Profs. Run defense was something Coach Accorsi wasn't too thrilled with in their season opener, and it was going to be a little bit of a baptism by fire situation for the Profs in this one, and it's proving to be just that. Now Wells keeps and pitches back, and that's going to be a loss, or just about a loss, no gain right around there, as Cashville Doe wasn't able to hit the outside.
You know, I kind of like that thing you said, baptism by fire. I have no idea what it means, but it's provocative, you know?
3rd and 2.
Gets the people going.
Absolutely. Throwing out all the fancy language. So 3rd and 2 here for Springfield. Wells takes the snap, hands off, and that's going to be enough for a first down.
Tim Callahan carries.
That time Callahan on the carry.
Super Springfield first down. At the 11-yard line.
So 1st and 10 from the 11. The handoff to Callahan. Takes him all the way down to the 4-yard line. And Springfield is threatening here in the red zone. It's going to be a substitution for Rowan as Josh Ortiz is going to come in this situation to try to defend the goal line.
And Josh Ortiz made some nice plays last week, so.
Ortiz going to line up in a defensive tackle position here. Callahan's going to storm in for the touchdown. So a nicely sustained drive from Springfield after stopping Rowan on 4th down in their own territory. They march down the field and get the first points on the board in this one.
Yeah, this was a worst case scenario definitely for Rowan's defense. It's not what you wanted to see on the first drive. You know, I'm really interested to see how they respond. Springfield really just walked down the field and ran down their necks. So really looking to see how they respond. Because last week, I don't think the issue for the defense was necessarily their effort. It was more about discipline and execution. And I think they're showing it here, the same issues. And I'm not seeing the same effort as last week. So.
Absolutely. You said it earlier in the pregame that with an offense of this nature, it all comes down to discipline on the defensive end. Everyone's got to know their assignment and play it properly, or else it could cost you. And Springfield was just able to take advantage as the extra point from Hutra is good. So Springfield now leads it 7-0 here with 3:21 left to play in the first quarter. So Rowan will get set to receive here after Springfield scores the first points of the game with a touchdown on that last drive. It was Tim Callahan, who so far has just been absolutely dominant in this first quarter. The kick from Hutra is off. Rowan's going to return this one and be taken down right around the 30. So 2 solid returns so far for Rowan on the special teams today.
Yeah, so far that's been a positive sign for this team early on. And I don't think necessarily Rowan needs to panic here. You know, last week the first game of the season was a night game. It's just a little bit afternoon right now. Guys are still waking up. Sometimes you need to get hit in the mouth to, you know, get into the game. So I'm not panicking about Rowan yet.
Still plenty of time, only down 7. The Profs will now lead their second offensive drive of the game as Husney takes off, and he's got room down the left sideline, and he's going to be brought down right around the 45-yard line. He faked the handoff and took it himself all the way up the middle and out the left sideline.
Great play by Husney. He made a great cut there in the middle of the field to get to the outside and get the props a first down a little bit more.
And a huge answer there after letting Springfield come down and score a touchdown first play of the drive. Husney rushes for 25.
You love to see it, man.
So now he'll reset in the shotgun. And he'll keep once again and head up the middle. He'll be brought down for a gain of 8. So it'll be 2nd and 3 now for the Profs. And it's been all Husney so far, really, on the offensive side of things. Ifriki in the backfield once again, and Maldonado in motion. The pass to Maldonado, but he's going to be brought down for no gain. So the play clearly designed to get the ball to Maldonado on that play, but Springfield was all over it.
Yes, the Springfield DBs did a really good job of shedding the Rowan receiver blocks. Not letting Maldonado do too much with the ball there. I do like to see Maldonado as a wide receiver fight for those yards there. It really shows off his toughness, you know?
Yeah, absolutely, looking scrappy at the wide receiver position. And now 3rd and 3. Husney keeps once again, and he's going to come up, looks just about a yard short of the first down. And I would imagine that we're going to see Rowan go for this again.
Yeah, they've shown early that they're not afraid to go for it on 4th down, so why change it up now, you know? This is who you're going to be, and do it.
And it's Juwan Hayes out there in the backfield now. I believe this is the first snap we've seen for him in this game, as Husney's going to take it under center and just pound ahead for the first down. So Husney on 4th and 1 goes under center and takes a full head of steam to pick up the first down yardage.
Yeah, Husney's been doing a lot of the dirty work on this drive, not afraid to take on some contact. And when you see your quarterback do that, the whole team responds, you know? Because you think of the quarterback, be the pretty boy, yada, yada, yada.
Not afraid to get down and dirty.
Exactly. When he shows that grit, man, the team loves to see that.
So it'll be a fresh set of downs now for the Profs. And Husney will hand off to Ifriki, who's going to spin his way down to the 28. Excuse me, that was Juwan Hayes staying in there for the 2nd play in a row. And that will do it here for the first quarter. So Rowan starting to mount a drive of their own after falling just short in that first drive to start the game. Springfield came back the other way. They put together a solid drive to score a touchdown and put the only points on the board of this one. So they still lead it 7-0 here after 1. Second quarter here on RTN Channel 5. Profs trail 7-0, but putting a drive together, and they now find themselves just outside of the red zone. moment away from getting this second quarter underway.
I like during this drive too their emphasis to run the ball with Husney. You know,
They're having success with it, so you would hope to see them stick with it at least until that well starts to run dry. And so it will be Juwan Hayes out there again. Now motion in the Props backfield and the handoff to Hayes, but he is brought down immediately. So it's going to be a loss of 2 for the Props on that one.
Juwan Hayes with the tackle for a loss. Quinn Sweeney on the tackle.
It's Quinn
Picks up
Sweeney
3rd and 7.
blowing up that play
31-yard
and
line.
bringing down Juwan Hayes early in the backfield. As Rowan gets movement on the Springfield side, and see if this is going to be called on Springfield or not. Refs will take a moment to talk this one over. So just taking a look at what happened for the Props offense back in that first quarter. Husney ran it 6 times, as the call will come in now, and it will be offsides on the defense. So in a 3rd down situation, a much needed 5 yards to shorten the distance to go on this one.
Offside penalty takes the ball to the 26-yard line.
yeah, and this is where
3rd and 2.
Rowan hopes they'll operate more on 3rd down. Is, you know, the 3rd and shorts.
We've seen in these short yardage situations so far today that Rowan really likes to run the ball, but it hasn't necessarily been working for them. Do you think they'll go back to it here?
I do. 'Cause I mean, this is what they did last game too.
And the handoff to Hayes, and once again has contact made with him almost immediately, still falls forward for just about a yard, if that.
Pasquinelli on the tackle.
And so now again, 4th and short for the Props. Offense is going to stay out there, and Andy Ifriki is going to come out on the field to be in the backfield alongside Hayes.
Yeah, I hope Rowan gets a little bit more creative here because they really have been great on short yardage situations so far, running the ball.
4th and 2, Husney under center. Hands off, and they're going to get the yardage. Andy Ifriki carrying for about 10 there to keep this drive alive.
Well, you know, when it works, it works. It looks great.
All comes down to execution at the end of the day.
At the 16-yard line.
And Props are going to stay with this backfield of Ifriki and Hayes. This time flipping the formation as Husney once again under center will hand off to Ifriki, who's going to storm ahead for about a gain of 6.
Andy Ifriki
You know, it's funny, on Thursday night during the Cowboys-Bucks game, the Cowboys had a formation where they had both Elliott and Pollard out there because they wanted to utilize their 2 top backs. And I kind of think that's what they're doing here. So
It certainly makes sense, right? You have 2 guys that are perfectly capable of blocking and carrying the ball. Why not keep them both on the field? As once again, Ifriki's going to get the handoff and pick up a gain of 3. So a 3rd and short situation here is now the Props are inside the 10.
Brings up 3rd and 2.
And going out of the same formation once more on 3rd and short, with Ifriki getting the ball once more, and he's going to get stuffed at the line. He's going to be short, looks like, by about half a yard.
yeah, that one's pretty close right there, Dylan. I don't know if you got it or not. Yeah, I don't think you did.
Gain of a yard. 4th and 1.
So once more, a 4th and short situation here for the Profs. Can't afford to come up empty here. And Husney once again will try to surge ahead for the first down, and it's going to be close. And there's a pile right around the 5-yard line, and the call will be first down. So Husney once again on 4th and 1, keeps it himself, gets behind Price Bouchard, the center, and surges ahead for the first down. And Profs now have a fresh set of downs inside the 5-yard line.
Yeah, we've kind of lulled the Springfield defense to sleep with some of these runs. Maldonado's got single coverage there on the outside. We're here in the red zone. I'm looking for him, I think.
See if they take a look in his direction. Will be handed off once again. Ifriki, who's going to carry for about a gain of 1 and get shut down.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we see some type of fade to Maldonado coming up in the next couple plays if they can't get in here.
It's Ronnie Beard covering John Maldonado at the moment. He had 2 tackles and a pass breakup last week against Western New England. Maldonado, one of the captains for the Profs, alongside Husney, who takes the snap. And a little bit of a communication. He's rolling out to his left, fires towards the end zone. That ball is going to be batted down. So a bit of a risky play there for Husney and the Profs. It kind of fell apart from the start, looked like a little bit of a miscommunication. And the target on that one was CJ Barrett, who did have a receiving touchdown for the Profs last week. So looking his way again in the end zone here, but was covered well.
Yeah, you know, and Husney had a guy, and he missed him. I don't think he saw him right away. He was wide open in the end zone. So that was definitely a miss by Husney there.
So it'll be third and goal, 4 yards out from the end zone here. Husney going out of the shotgun. Takes the snap, hands off to Ifriki, who surges ahead to the 2-yard line. And you would have to imagine that the Profs are once again going to stay on the field with their offense. Husney coming over to talk this over with Coach Accorsi. See what the plan of attack is going to be here. Springfield doing a really nice job at defending the run here inside the 10 and 15-yard lines. So see if the Profs try to challenge them once more and pound it in. Looks like we're going to have a timeout by the Profs, and they're going to talk this one over. So 4th and 3 to go here for the Profs. They trail 7-0 to Springfield and a chance to tie this game up. This is now the 4th play just inside the 5-yard line for the Profs, with Andy Ifriki in the backfield. And Husney will fake the handoff to him. He's looking to Maldonado, who's got the catch for the touchdown. John Maldonado with his second receiving touchdown of the season, gets the Profs on the board.
And that was one hell of a drive by the Profs there, you know. Went for it on fourth down multiple times, and then he ends up hitting Maldonado in the end zone with a great pass and catch.
You said early on that you want to see Maldonado get targeted in the end zone, and he finally does there. It was a nicely designed play with the fake to Ifriki, as the kick will be good. And the Profs tie this one up at 7. So talk about a much needed comeback drive after having a pretty solid first drive, but no points to show for it. Springfield comes back the other way and drives down the field effortlessly, and to be able to get back on the board, tie this one up, it's got to be a big confidence boost for this Profs team.
Yeah, Rowan's defense has had a lot of time to sit on the side and, you know, think about their last time on the field. So now it's up to them to respond and stop this Springfield offense, you know?
So the Profs will get set to kick off here. They tie this one up with just about 9 minutes remaining in the second quarter. It will be Danny Kay kicking off for the Profs. Springfield will look to return this one. Up the middle, he's got a lane and tripping up right around the 37-yard line. So now Springfield will take over on offense, their first drive of the second quarter.
Yeah, and they really had no issues on their last drive, running the ball and getting in the end zone, so hopefully Rowan's a little better here.
It looked like Profs had a little bit of discipline issues with keeping their assignments, and Tim Callahan and Pat Latus were able to just storm ahead, but nice job there to force the toss out to the left side, but not able to contain the run, as now a gain of 12 for Springfield.
Yeah, you know, they had them about at the line of scrimmage, and you just got to wrap up on that and get them down. Poor tackling by the Profs there.
Yeah, definitely. They had him. They just weren't able to bring him down. And so that's a first down for Springfield on the first play of this possession. Now taking over at the 50-yard line. Wells hands off. That's Callahan once again storming ahead for the first down. Excuse me, it's Pat Lattice.
And on that play, Rowan had no one in that gap to stop him.
The gap control is a huge issue when you go up against offense that really likes the fullback dive. And Rowan really struggling to stop that play early on here.
Yeah, the alignment on that last play wasn't great. You know, there was no one over to the right of the center, so they just ran it right there and got an easy first down. Well, close still.
Still second down. Lattice now, once again, carrying a few Profs ahead for about a gain of 5 and a first down. So Springfield not really wasting any time here to get into Profs territory.
Yeah, Lattice and Callahan are really setting the tone for this Springfield offense with their, hard-nosed running. Really been a problem for the Profs early on.
And you would like to see the Profs tighten that up and work on that run defense a little bit here, as that'll be 1st and 10 for Springfield. And the handoff once again to Lattice, as Lattice rumbling and tumbling all the way down to the 20-yard line. So Lattice, on that play, the Profs are making contact, but he's just bouncing off defenders.
Yeah, that man is big guy, and
First down, Springfield.
guys,
20-yard
you know,
line.
that size who can run like that, they're really hard to get down, especially if you don't get them at the initial point of attack. Because once they get their speed going with their weight, it's like a train, you know, off the tracks.
You can't let that freight train get any momentum.
Hell no.
So now first down and 10 from the Profs 20. Motion in the backfield for Springfield as they will hand off to Callahan, who will pick up about 5 yards.
Tim Callahan carries. Tim Hutchinson on the tackle.
And it was the captain, Tim Hutchinson, on the tackle there. So 2nd and 5 now for Springfield. The snap and the handoff to Callahan takes it down to the 5-yard line.
Tim Callahan carries. Calvin Harper
So
on the
not
tackle.
what you wanted to see from the Profs defense, especially after such a solid drive from the offense to tie this game up. They are struggling mightily right now.
5-yard line.
You know, Springfield up front, absolutely dominating the game right now. And in a flex bone offense, it's the D lineman's responsibility to get the fullback, and the Springfield O lineman right now are just pushing them all around.
Is now to Lattice. As Lattice is going to push ahead and get into the end zone for the touchdown.
Touchdown, Springfield.
That was
So
great
that
stuff.
drive pretty much all Pat Lattice for the Springfield Pride, and they quickly regain the lead 13-7 now as we await the extra point.
Yeah, and to be honest, if I wasn't a Rowan student, I'd probably be rooting for Springfield today, because this is one of my favorite offenses to watch. Because when you execute it like this, it's just
Borderline unstoppable.
and beautiful old school football. You know, just tough, gritty.
And the extra point is good. So Rowan now, their offense, they're going to have their work cut out for them today. They're going to have to keep up. And they now trail it 14-7 here with about 5.5 minutes left to go in this second quarter. Five and a half left to go here in the second quarter. Profs now trail at 14-7 as Springfield has gone all the way on both of their offensive possessions. So the Profs will be set to receive here. It's going to be Juwan Hayes and Terry Karlstrom set back, as that one will travel into the end zone and Karlstrom will take the fair catch. Rowan offense has looked solid today, but as long as the defense is not really able to stop Springfield, the offense is just going to have to keep it up.
Yeah, with the way the defense is playing right now, this drive is vital for Rowan to get some points on the board before the half, because Springfield gets the ball to start in the second half, and if Rowan doesn't score here, we could be looking at a large deficit pretty quickly if the defense keeps on playing like they are.
And if the offense can't sustain a somewhat long drive here, the defense is quickly going to have to go back out onto the field, which could be disaster, as first play. Husney comes out throwing left side, and some room to run. Going to be brought down for about a gain of 12. That was C.J. Barrett, the senior tight end.
And he's been really impressive so far this year. Last week he had a touchdown grab, and there he's showing off his athletic ability a little bit, little nimbleness for a tight end.
Husney now out of the shotgun, fakes the handoff and keeps for a loss of 1, as a flag's going to come in late.
Yeah, 45 on Springfield hit Husney a little late there, so I think we're going to get a little personal foul action going on. Nice little 15.
And it will be targeting.
Wow. I really hate the targeting rule where you have to get ejected. Yeah,
it's been a topic of discussion in the college football world as of late.
Yeah, it has, and that's why I brought it up. What do you think about it?
I think every case needs to be looked at as a different scenario. I mean, so many times clearly there's no intent, and it's just the game of football, but at the same time, the safety of players, especially at the college levels, is always the most important thing, and if you can discourage poor tackling and poor form as much as possible, then I do understand that. But at the same time, to take the game away from these kids after all the work they put in for their season, I do think it's a little disheartening for everyone involved. Husney will hand off now to Hayes. Hayes finds a lane up the middle for a gain of 4.
Yeah, I think the targeting rule, it's kind of good in theory. You don't want to see that kind of violent, potentially dangerous hits in football. But like you said, I think it should be more of a case by case. Was the intent that he was trying to take his head off, or did the offensive player duck? So,
Yeah, automatic ejection is a little harsh. So Husney now will take the snap out of the shotgun again. He fakes the throw and carries ahead. He spins all the way for first down. He's got some room to run. He breaks a tackle and going to be out at the 17-yard line. What an electric play from the captain, Mike Husney.
That looked a little Johnny Football reminiscent,
I see the comparison definitely, especially on that play.
A shorter quarterback who has the ability to run and throw. It's hard not to see that resemblance,
Absolutely. Husney just kept the legs churning on that one, spinning away from a couple tackles, and a big gain for the Profs, as now Hayes carries ahead for a gain of about 7.
And this is by far Rowan's best drive of the game.
Rowan is not wasting any time, not really taking any of these set of downs, the third or fourth down. They're wasting no time picking up a new set of downs. And now they find themselves in the red zone.
Exactly, they feel balanced too now. They're getting a little bit more pass into it, not being as predictable.
And this formation, now that we saw Rowan run in this part of the field last time, as Husney fakes the handoff. He's got Barrett. He's firing towards Barrett in the end zone, and that ball almost picked off, but is going to fall incomplete. So scrambling to his right, rolling out. Husney fired in the end zone in the direction of Karlstrom and C.J. Barrett, but not able to come away with anything, and lucky to still hold possession after that one.
See, Husney on his run looked like Johnny Manziel in college. Right there, he kind of looked like Johnny Manziel in the NFL. Not really a great read. It looked like he was trying to do a little too much, kind of held onto the ball. I would have just thrown it away there because Springfield almost came away with the ball. Down here, you cannot make those mistakes.
You certainly don't want to force it in the end zone if it's not there, but Husney now will hand off to Ifriki, who's got some room to run. He's going to fall ahead for the touchdown. So after a near interception, Rowan on the following play hands off to Andy Ifriki, who effortlessly finds the end zone.
Yeah, Ifriki's getting freaky with it.
You were waiting to use that one.
I just thought of it and it was awful, but I had to say it.
So big drive from the Profs, and now awaiting the extra point here from Hurler. And that kick will be good. So this game is all tied up at 14 apiece with under 3 minutes left to go in the first half after a beautiful drive from the Profs offense, Mike Husney and Andy Ifriki. So Rowan getting set to kick off here after tying this game up at 14 apiece. And Springfield will return. Brought down at the 30. Nice special teams coverage there from the Profs. It's Terrain Burton on the return to bring it out to the 30-yard line. And now with a little under 3 minutes left to operate, be interesting to see what kind of approach Springfield likes to take, because when you're such a run-heavy offense and you don't have that much time to really pound the rock, see if they stick with it and hope for some big gains and maybe run the hurry up, or if we'll see them pass a little more here.
I'd expect them to start off running, but yeah, I think they might mix in a little pass here and there, see if they get the ball down the field.
And Wells will keep and pitch off to the left side. Is some room to run there for Ryan DeGuire, and he's going to take that ball all the way to midfield on the first play, so not a great start again for this Profs defense.
And you know, when you can run like that, why even pass the ball?
So at the 50-yard line now.
First down, midfield.
Is again Ryan DeGuire on the big carry. So 2 minutes and 20 seconds left to operate for the Pride. The handoff now to Callahan as he's got some room to run, and he takes it all the way to the 35. So back-to-back 20 and then 15-yard carries for the Springfield Pride as they now find themselves well within Profs territory. Probably going to get one more playoff here before the 2-minute warning. As Wells not looking like he's in any hurry, but they're going to get the playoff in time. The pitch to the right side, broken tackle, and he's going to get away for about a gain of 6 or 7.
Isaiah Castwell-Doe carries.
It was Isaiah Castwell-Doe.
Fourth down bounds at 26.
Yeah, so Rowan has to do their job and execute against Springfield, you know, with many options that they can do. So there, they kind of did their job. They came up, you know, got in position to make a play, but then you got to execute. You know, you got to get them down. You can't let them keep on getting these large runs.
Another handoff here as Lattice just storms ahead with a Prof defender on his back.
He just carried our defensive lineman for like 5 yards.
A solid 5 or 6 yards. And like you said, with those fullbacks, if they can get that momentum, they're very hard to bring down. And Lattice and Callahan have both proven early on that they can get up to that momentum and get that speed very quickly. They're not easy targets to bring down.
No, and they're really not like your typical fullback, you know. These guys look like offensive guards that can run sub, 540s, the 4.8, 4.9, you know. These guys are a problem.
Yeah, Tim Callahan coming in at 6'1", 225 for the graduate student from Enfield, Connecticut, and Pat Lattis on the other side coming in at 5'11", 205 for the junior out of Berlin, Connecticut. So both proving to be a problem, kind of a two-headed monster right now for this Springfield offense. Is now at the minute 45. They will set up from right around the 15-yard line.
First down, 15-yard line.
And a fresh set of downs. Wells hands off to Callahan. And again, it just seems like every time that Callahan or Lattis gets the ball, they're going for at least 4 yards, if not double digits. So I'm not sure what the answer is for the Profs defense, but they're going to need to go back to the drawing board at halftime and find a way to stop these two.
Well, they're going to have to figure out a way to disrupt things up front.
Now the handoff to Callahan as he's got room to run and nobody will stop him. That's a touchdown for Springfield. 12-yard run for Tim Callahan, and Springfield for the third possession in a row goes the distance of the field for a touchdown, and Profs find themselves trailing once again.
That Callahan's a bad man.
Certainly, he's got speed too on that play, really showing the speed.
And on one of the plays, he carried Josh Ortiz for 5 yards, and he's 250 pounds. This guy's a beast.
And the kick by Hutra will be good, so will now be 21-14. Springfield leads it here. Rowan's going to get one more chance with a little over a minute left to play in this first half. Welcome back here with a minute and change left to play in this first half. Rowan now trails once again, now 21-14. They will get set to receive this kickoff, and we're going to see, I would assume, a lot of the Rowan pass game here with a minute left to play if they want a chance to at least put a field goal on the board before heading into halftime. And so far, the answer at wide receiver for the Profs has been the senior, the captain, John Maldonado. And that second option hasn't really proven itself yet. Excuse me, the junior, John Maldonado. But that second option hasn't really proven itself yet. See if they will start to emerge here. Rowan will take the fair catch in the end zone. Send the offense back out on the field.
Yeah, and there's a minute left in this quarter, so I kind of think this first play here is really going to indicate what they do on this drive, because if they can get a positive play here, you might see them try to march down the field and get some points, but I think if they don't get a lot here on first down, they're just going to chalk it up to the second half.
And it would make sense. You don't want to force it with only a little bit of time left to play and potentially get yourself in trouble, but maybe test the waters and see what you can get from your pass offense and the Springfield defense. So Husney will be back out of the shotgun once again. So Husney now takes the snap and hands off to Hayes. So I guess that kind of answers our question that Rowan maybe not going to push the envelope here in the rest of this first half.
Yeah. And that was kind of an interesting formation right there. They were, it looked like they were lined up in a pistol formation. But usually in pistol, the running back's, you know, behind the quarterback, but here he was to the right. So that was kind of an interesting formation there.
The split backfield now, only one back. Husney's gonna roll out to the left side and fire down the sideline. That ball's not gonna be able to find the hands of Eddie Jamison. But Rowan taking a shot down the left sideline. And now it'll be third and long here.
Husney took a shot there trying to get the ball to Jamison. I mean, it was definitely a good play to see if we could get a big play before half.
I like the decision because it's not in a situation where you're firing it over the middle and you potentially an interception with a return. You know, worst comes to worst, you're looking at an interception deep into Springfield territory. As now Hayes is going to find some room to run and pick up the first down. And Rowan will use a timeout here. So with 22 seconds, Rowan took their time putting together those last few plays and took the clock all the way down to just 22 seconds, and now finding themselves at the 39-yard line. They're going to take a timeout and maybe one more shot down the field.
Yeah, and does Rowan have any timeouts left, or are they all out? Yeah, it looks like they're out of timeouts. I was thinking here if they had some timeouts left, you could maybe hit a big play
over the middle,
because you know they're playing outside contain here, more than likely.
Now you're left more playing the sidelines.
Yeah, exactly.
So 22 seconds to operate. If they're going to attack the middle, they're going to have to do it quickly.
And they still might run the ball here. You know, you're still kind of in a weird spot. You might catch them, you know, on their heels if you run the ball here. You might get a big gain and get back on the ball and spike it. So we'll see what Rowan does. They have some options.
And Husney will fake the handoff and fire it to the sideline to C.J. Barrett, who's going to pick up about 4.
Good job by Barrett getting out of bounds there. Stop the clock.
The clock will stop at 16 seconds now. And like you said, all because of the awareness from the tight end and senior C.J. Barrett.
Yeah, we're talking about that rising second option in the passing game. I think Barrett's feeling that a little bit more. But I still want to see another wide receiver from Rowan make some plays. And it's not because they don't have talent. I just don't think anyone's risen up yet.
So Husney is going to look for Maldonado down the left sideline. That ball is going to be corralled in for the catch. So a beautiful play from Maldonado to make the catch at the 25-yard line and get out of bounds. So with 9 seconds left to go here, Rowan possibly putting some points on the board here to end the first half.
Yeah, and it kind of looks like Husney and Maldonado might practice that, because that looked like an easy pitch and catch there.
You couldn't have asked for better placement, and really nice job from John Maldonado to get separation from the defender and still keep his eye on the ball, rise up and come down with it. Just perfectly executed play. And when you see something like that, you have to think, you know, maybe see Rowan come out with a little bit more of a pass-heavy approach in the second half. It's kind of worked out for them so far when they've decided to go that route, but it's been mostly run here today.
Yeah. You know, I would definitely like to see them be a little bit more pass-heavy. Get a little bit more balance in the offense.
So first down here from the 31-yard line, as Husney is going to fire deep towards the end zone. Once again, that ball just not going to be able to get brought in, but the flag's going to come out.
Wow. That's a huge flag. There's only 2 seconds left, too, in the half.
And it definitely was. Husney had a receiver somewhat open, and it looked to be interference that stopped that play from being a touchdown.
You know, it's really crazy. So far this year, when you throw the ball
There's a reason he's captain, one of the best players on this offense. And now, after that play, it provides the opportunity. Rowan able to send the field goal unit out there with 2 seconds left. Prior, they didn't have a timeout, so it was pretty much, they were still just out of field goal range. It was end zone or bust, but the pass interference call will give them an opportunity to put points on the board here. It's going to be Jake Hurler out to take the kick.
Shout out Mike Husney on that last drive. He did a great job of leading Rowan down the field and doing a great job of operating the clock.
And the kick from Hurler is good. So as time expires here in the first half, Rowan is able to put together a drive with only a little over a minute left to play, go all the way down the field, and at least score 3. So after one half of play, Rowan trails 21-17, and it's kind of been a mixed bag of what we've seen so far. Really like what we're seeing from the Rowan offense. Defense needs to recollect. What do you want to see them do differently?
I want to see them do some things up front that they haven't done so far, because the Springfield offensive line is just having its way with Rowan up front. So Rowan needs to find a way to plug some gaps, switch some guys around, and just disrupt some plays at the line of scrimmage, because too many times the first Rowan defender to get to a Springfield ball carrier, he's already a couple yards down the field. So I'm looking for them to disrupt them up front and just get them at the point of contact.
And we'll see if they can do exactly that, because Springfield will be set to receive at the start of the second half in about 20 minutes or so here. So after one half of play, Rowan trails Springfield 21-17 here on RTN Channel 5. second half action here on RTN Channel 5. Rowan Profs versus the Springfield Pride. Springfield leading 21-17 after that first half. They've scored on every one of their possessions, and they're now set to receive to start the second half. I'm Dylan Siddiqui. Alongside me, my broadcast partner, Connor Brown. Connor, we got to hope to see something different from this Rowan defense to start this second half.
Yeah, you know, they really did not look good in the first half, but I'm actually kind of excited to see if they can come out here in the second half and respond to such a poor showing in the first half. You know, it was really just Springfield was doing whatever they wanted. They were getting 5 yards a pop, like, at command, so I'm excited to see if Rowan's defense will respond, because if they don't, it's going to be tough getting back into this game, especially with the way Springfield can just, you know, control the clock. Absolutely,
and it was Tim Callahan and Pat Lattice who did it all for Springfield in that first half. You have to imagine that Rowan's really got their numbers circled heading into this one, as now they will kick off to get this second half underway. And Springfield will return this one and be brought down at around the 20-yard line. So great special teams play there from Rowan. And now Springfield going to have a ways to go to reach the end zone here.
Yeah, I'm looking for guys like Tietma, Aikens up front to start making some plays, you know, and show that they're present in this game. Because so far, you know, hasn't really seemed like they've been doing a whole lot.
Yeah, Aikens in last week's matchup, he had 13 tackles, 3 sacks. He's got 5 tackles here in this one, but obviously not really a chance for the sacks with this run-heavy offense. So you got to adjust and be a little bit more of a run stopper. As first play to get underway, Rowan stands up Springfield at the line of scrimmage.
Now that's something we haven't seen all day. You know, it was, I kind of didn't really believe what I was seeing there. So that's a good start. Obviously we have a long way to go, but
hope to see more of that.
Exactly.
I believe that was the first time that we've seen Lattice or Callahan not gain positive yardage on a rushing attempt. So good start to the half by Rowan. Is now Lattice will carry. He's got room to run. He's going to be across midfield and brought down right around the 30-yard line. So commentators curse right there as the
right
following play. Lattice busts off a big run.
Yeah, man, I was a little too positive, a little too quick.
Pat Lattice just continuing to dominate here. And now Springfield will start at the 30. Snap to handoff and taken down at the 5. Callahan just continues to rumble. So Lattice busts a big run off. Then you come back the next play and Callahan then continues to run for about 20.
I mean, it's a repeat of the first half, you know.
First and goal at the 5-yard line.
So it'll be first and goal from the 5 for Springfield. And Callahan stays out there. And it's going to be handed off to Callahan. And he's going to get stuffed at the line for no gain.
Yeah, we've been talking a lot about how the D-line has struggled. It's now time for some of the guys on the second level on defense to start making some plays out in space to stop these long gains by the Springfield running backs.
Callahan in the backfield once again. Handoff to him. He's in there for the touchdown. So it was Pat Lattice and Tim Callahan that did all the heavy lifting on that drive. And just a few plays, Springfield goes from the 20 all the way down the field for a touchdown. And now awaiting the extra point as they will lead by 2 possessions early here in the second half.
And, you know, coming into this week, you know, I checked the Springfield box score from last week. There was a lot of quarterback attempts, you know, but this week it's all fullback.
Yeah, we were discussing it previous to the game starting, as that kick will be good, so it will be 28-17 in favor of Springfield here. But we were talking about it before the game, looking, at the score for Springfield in their last matchup against Western New England, and David Wells was listed as the starter for here today. He obviously has been the starting quarterback for them, but only played a little bit last week. He had 3 rushing attempts for 22 yards. He did fumble, and then we saw mostly it was Armando Torres coming in to play quarterback. He ran the ball 19 times, and we have yet to hear his number called today, but hasn't been a problem for Springfield.
Yeah, and you pointed out, too, before the game that Torres had 3 fumbles in that game. So I wonder if he got benched or not. But it's kind of surprising today that the quarterback's not really a factor in the offense, because the fullbacks are just doing such a great job. You don't even need to use your quarterback.
Yeah, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Exactly.
And Springfield, it certainly is not broken for them right now. Again, they lead by 2 possessions now. Rowan's offense has been effective. They've also scored on all except one of their possessions, and even then going deep into Springfield territory on that drive. It was the first drive of this game, but when your defense is yet to get a stop, there's no room for errors here, so see if they can bring this game back to a 1-possession game. As brought down inside the 20-yard line. And there is a flag down on the play.
That was a great pursuit by number 34 on Springfield.
See what the flag is for. Still waiting the call here. So we'll be holding on the Profs, which will now put them inside their own 10-yard line to start this drive, and not ideal for Rowan here.
No, this is where things could go poorly very quickly.
So starting at the 8-yard line here, Mike Husney and this Profs offense really got their work cut out for them. Husney hands off for a gain of 1. Jawan Hayes in the backfield taking that carry.
Jack Dyson on the tackle. Gain of 2, 2nd and 8.
So it was a gain of 2, and now 2nd and 8 from the 10-yard line for the Profs. Husney drops back to pass. Pressure coming, fires deep down the sideline, just out of the reach of Maldonado. Husney took a lick on that play, and a flag comes in, so potentially roughing the passer here against Springfield.
Yeah, and I think if Jamison runs the right route on that play, Maldonado might still be running.
It got a little crowded over there by the sideline, but a beautiful ball that was just out of reach of the outstretched arms of John Maldonado.
Yeah, you still expect number 7 to catch that, but
and it will be a roughing the passer call against Springfield. So Rowan will advance 15 yards alongside getting a fresh set of downs, and that is huge for when a possession starts inside your own 10-yard line and you're looking at a 3rd and long to be able to get a fresh set of downs and a little bit of room to breathe here.
Exactly. That was huge for Rowan, and for the first time really today, Springfield showed a little bit of undiscipline.
So 1st and 10 here for the Profs. The handoff to Hayes, and nowhere to go. second and long upcoming now for the Profs.
Gain of 2. Second and 8.
A little bit of movement on the Springfield defensive line, and Husney now is going to step up and run with it for about a gain of 4.
Mike Husney carries.
It looked like there was a jump on the defensive line of Springfield with no flags.
Yeah, he might have moved a little bit, but he might not have done enough to, you know, break the neutral zone.
You can get back in time before the snap as long as you don't cause any movement on the offensive line. You're going to get away with it most times. Not always, but most of the time. So 3rd and short now for the Profs. Husney hands off to Ifriki, who gets stood up at the line of scrimmage. No gain.
Ifriki, Andy on the carry. That'll bring up 4th down.
Yeah, I kind of wonder what Rowan's doing there. It's
4th and 2.
probably the biggest drive of this game to this point, and on 4th and 4, they just kind of
Tom Brennan in the
do
pocket.
what they've been doing all season on 3rd and short, and you know, sometimes it works, but in these positions,
TJ Landry on
I don't know.
Springfield.
So Rowan will punt away. A fair catch called for right around the 41-yard line.
You know, this Rowan offense, it's kind of hard to
Springfield starts his
really
possession at the
understand
41-yard
because in
line.
certain areas they're very conservative, but then in other areas like today, I think we've already gone for it on 4th down like 4 times. It's kind of an interesting, you know, game plan.
So 1st down now for Springfield from their own 41. And Rowan will need a big stop here as that ball's loose. Wells able to get it, scrambling out of the pocket and throwing deep downfield. No one home for it.
Very well passed, ball is incomplete.
So potentially huge play for the Rowan defense. A bobbled snap from David Wells, but Rowan not able to capitalize.
Brings up 2nd and 10.
Yeah, that's one of the few mistakes we've seen Springfield make today, and they're avoid any further danger.
So 2nd and long now. The handoff to Lattice, and he's gonna fall forward for a gain of 3.
Oh, come on.
On the tackle.
And we're gonna have a late flag here. And some audible frustration here from the Rowan faithful.
Yeah, that was on Eric Matos there. He did a great job of getting the Springfield offensive lineman to the ground, but then he kind of stepped over him a little bit, and you know, it's not a great look when the ref sees you do that, and that's where the flag came from.
And that's gonna cost Rowan a potential 3rd and long situation for the Springfield offense now in Rowan territory with a fresh set of downs.
Yeah, really hurt Rowan there. Can't be doing that shit.
So handoff here to Lattice, excuse me. The pitch to the outside and room to run for DeGear.
We got some flags on the play.
9-year carries.
Might be some holding out there on the perimeter.
See what the call is on this one. And it's going to be a face mask call against the props. So Springfield now within the 20.
And Rowan's really starting to unravel here.
The defense has just struggled mightily today.
And on this drive alone, they've given up 33 yards, which if you're a struggling defense, that is something you cannot do. You know, it's one thing to miss a tackle, but it's another to have stupid penalties.
Gotta stay disciplined.
Way more preventable than missing a tackle.
So 1st and 10 here. Handoff to Lattice. Gain of 5.
And at this point, for the defensive unit, you know, at some point it has to become about pride and, you know, not just being pushed around all the time. And, you know, they just haven't been able to do that. So let's see if they can do it here. But
2nd down now at the 10-yard line. Handoff. Goes down to the 4. It was Callahan with it.
Callahan carries. Hands of Bruce on the tackle.
So just short of a 1st down. It's going to be 3rd and 2 for the Springfield Pride. And it's Callahan in the backfield. Ball's loose. Wells dives on it for a big loss. So the 2nd time this possession that we've seen a bobbling of the snap between Kevin Lynn, the center, and the quarterback David Wells. That time costing Springfield a solid 8 yards or so, and that's going to force their field goal unit to come out for the first time in this one.
yeah, that was a big break for the Rowan defense there. They were in a bad spot. Now they're out of it.
Kick from Hoocher is up and splits the uprights for 3. So Springfield now leads it 31-17 halfway through this 3rd quarter. Rowan going to be set to receive in just a few moments. So Rowan set to receive now. Juwan, Hayes, and Carlston back to receive. And Rowan will call the fair catch.
Touchback, possible charge of possession at the 25-yard line.
Big offensive possession here from Rowan. Now down 2 possessions, 2 touchdowns. Really, it's kind of touchdown or bust at this point for the offense. Going to have to find a way to get in the end zone. They didn't score in the 2nd half of last week's game. See if they can change that narrative here.
Yeah, there needs to be some type of sense of urgency here.
Husney takes a snap, fires over to Maldonado for the screen. He's got blocking in front of him, at least temporarily, and he's going to pick up 8.
Gain of 8 yards on the play, 2nd and 2.
So far in the passing game, it's been all John Maldonado here today for the Profs.
Yeah, I think that was his 5th catch on the day.
Ben Sweeney on the tackle. Gain of a yard, 3rd and 1.
So 3rd and short situation here for the Profs. And it'll be Hayes in the backfield with Husney. Out of the shotgun. Husney takes the snap, hands off to Hayes, and Hayes is brought down but gets the first down.
Yeah, if Springfield doesn't get a good hit on him right there, he might still be running.
There was room to run. He had a lane, but Springfield did a nice job of just closing that gap and doing enough to bring him down. But a broken tackle, he had nothing but daylight.
Yeah, he had that guard pulling with him and looked good.
So Husney now firing deep. And that pass is going to be broken up. And flag is going to come down.
There's a flag on the play. Intended for Terry Carlstrom.
Looking for Carlstrom.
We've seen a lot of that today, a lot of pass interference. I wonder if Springfield's pass coverage kind of doesn't get as many looks in practice during the week because of, you know, there's such a run-heavy offense. And I wonder if this is a product of that.
Springfield has struggled to defend the long ball here today. Makes you wonder if we'll see Husney and this Profs offense continue to attack deep.
So the play is a 1st down.
So it will be 15 yards and a 1st down for the Profs. Husney now with the snap, hands off, and some room to run. Big collision there for Hayes. And we have an injured player down, so we will take a short step off here on RTN Channel 5. So 2nd and 3 here for Husney and the Rowan offense. As faking the handoff, and Husney looking deep for Maldonado. Goes up to make the catch. It isn't able to come down with it, but we do have a flag down. It'll be interesting to see if that's going to be holding, if they're going to say that the contact was made prior to the ball being in the air, or if they're going to call PI. So fresh set of downs and 10 yards now for the Profs, and John Maldonado again he seems to just be all over the place on offense. He's really doing it all for this Rowan air attack.
You know, they have a lot of confidence in him. You know, that's like the second time today I've seen him pass into double coverage.
Pass over to Barrett. Barrett not able to come up with positive yardage on that one. Going to be a loss of 1.
Result of the play is lost 2 yards.
Yeah, that's something I've seen a lot more today than last week, is a lot more wide receiver screens to some of the Rowan receivers.
And it hasn't been the most successful play design for them so far, as now Husney drops back to pass again. And scrambling around the pocket now, shaking off a defender, and he's going to be brought down. That ball's going to come out, and Springfield looks like they recovered, and they did. So Rowan was mounting a nice little drive there, and pass protection kind of fell apart on that one, and the ball came out, and Springfield recovers.
Yeah, Husney just tried to do a little too much on that one. For a second there, it looked like he was going to run, and then he kind of tried to make a couple other guys miss. And I think he actually ran into one of his offensive linemen, and that's what caused the fumble. So just trying to do a little too much there by Husney, you know. In that situation, just throw it out of bounds. Play the next down.
And now Rowan giving possession back to Springfield. Still trailing by 14 here, as Rowan's going to stand that play up before it really gets started. It was Callahan on the carry.
Yeah, I believe that was oh no, Ortiz was in there on the tackle there. Big old 97.
No gain on play, 2nd and 10.
So it'll be 2nd and 10 now for Springfield. It's going to be Callahan on the carry. Was a straight arm up the middle that managed to grab a hold of Callahan's jersey and slow him down just enough to prevent him breaking off a big run.
Eric Matos and A.J. Akins on the tackle.
And it was A.J. Akins and Eric Matos on the tackle. I believe it was the arm of A.J. Akins that was able to grab a hold of Tim Callahan's jersey. So big play there from Akins to stop a large one. So it'll be 3rd and short now for Springfield. The handoff up the middle to Callahan. Callahan's got room to run out at the 38-yard line, and that's good for a 1st down.
So play 1st down Springfield. That's a Rowan 38.
So Rowan defense continuing to struggle to stop the two-headed monster of Tim Callahan and Pat Lattis, and it's been all Callahan this drive. And now busting up the middle for another gain of about 7.
Yeah, it looks like they have a 3rd fullback now, number 33, Nick Vieri. And it doesn't really look like it matters who it is, because it's about the same result, you know.
It just goes to show that Springfield's really winning the battle in the trenches right now. It doesn't matter who's carrying the ball. So now Wells will pitch it back, and room to run again for DeGear. So that pitch play to DeGear has also had a lot of success on the outside
lot of that is set up by their overall success with their fullback dive. You know, you get the defense to, a lot of guys on the line of scrimmage, and then you have a lot of room out, towards the perimeter.
And now it's Ranieri in the backfield again, the third fullback that we've seen today, and he's gonna fake the handoff, David Wells keeping that one for himself and carrying it all the way up inside the 5-yard line.
Yeah, I think Wells has had about the easiest day he's gonna have as a quarterback,
You don't have to do much. Just hand it off to the fullback and they're doing all the work, but then they've been establishing such dominance that it opens up a lot of lanes for himself. So now 1st and goal at the 5-yard line. Wells hands off to Ranieri, who pounds his way into the end zone for a touchdown. So the first drive that we've really seen anything from Nick Ranieri, hasn't gotten much playing time up until this drive and wasted no time capitalizing on it and scoring his first touchdown of the day and extending this Springfield lead. So Rowan has they've come out a little flat here in the second half. Now with only 51 seconds remaining in this third quarter, they trail by 3 possessions.
Yeah, Springfield's really starting to pull away with this one. And it's a 3-touchdown deficit against a team like this that's playing well. It's really tough to do.
So the snap mishandled on the side of Springfield, but running for it and converting the 2-point conversion. So not too sure if that was the plan or if the snap was just mishandled. It was Corey Zal who, it looked like just a low snap, not able to get the kickoff, and Zal just took off for the end zone and was able to find it for 2.
I mean, you talk about salt on the wound. You just let a holder outrun your special teams for a 2-point conversion. That's there's a lot of stuff to work on this Rowan defense, I'd say.
Yeah, things are just not falling the way the profs would have hoped here today. And now trailing 39 to 17. Got a little mixed up because of the 2-point conversion, but 39 to 17, and Springfield showing that they're just a dominant offense. And you would think that, a team that's just, what they're running, but you just can't stop it. They just execute very, very well. It all starts in the trenches for this Springfield team, and they've just dominated. You take a look at this offensive line for Springfield. Luke Akoza at left tackle, left guard Chris Eichler, Kevin Lind has been huge at the center position, Cameron Borges, and John Weber. The line that has just played so well for this Springfield team, and Rowan now set to return this kickoff and going to be brought down just past the 25-yard line. 39 to 17, Springfield leads it here. See if Rowan can get some offense going.
And the really unfortunate thing about the defense today is that the offense really isn't playing a bad game. They've been able to move the ball pretty efficiently, other than the last drive with the fumble.
First down handoff here for a gain of 2. So going to be second down here for the props offense. As this third quarter winds down to a close. High snap, Husney manages to keep it down, and he instantly takes off, but only gains about 4 on the play. So that will do it here for the third quarter. Springfield continues to pour it on, and they now lead at 39-17 as we head into the fourth and final quarter of play in just a few moments here on RTN Channel 5. Fourth quarter play here now. Rowan trails 39-17. Husney takes the snap and forced to scramble and brought down early. So going to be...
Husney lost the ball there on the way down too. I don't know what they're going to call there.
Looks like Rowan will keep possession at least for a moment, as now they face a fourth and long in their own territory and are going to be forced to punt. It'll be Tommy Brennan to punt here, senior. And boots that one away to CJ Lavery, who will watch it as it bounces all the way down to the 25-yard line. So solid punt there from Brennan.
Springfield will start its possession at their own 26-yard line.
So with 14 minutes left to play here in the fourth quarter, Springfield will take back over on first down. The carry by Callahan goes for a couple. And now it'll be 2nd and 7 for Springfield.
Yeah, Callahan and latest respectfully have been averaging 8 and 9 yards a carry this game. And, I mean, that is
incredible.
That is incredible.
And just goes to show that Rowan, they got a lot of work still left to do on this defensive line, as second down play is going to get shut down. And going to be movement on the Springfield line. So that'll set them back now. It'll be 2nd and 12 for the Springfield offense. David Wells under center. He pitches left side, and DeGear gets brought down at just about the 37-yard line. Excuse me, they're going to mark him down at the 35. So it's going to be a 3rd and short situation here for Springfield. They've been effective in these 3rd and short situations as an offense that's certainly built for the fullback dive and an effective play in short yardage situations. So see if they go right back to it with Callahan in the backfield here. Hand off to Callahan, and he will pick up the first down. Carries that one out to the 39-yard line.
See, that's the type of
First
run
down,
for
Springfield.
Rowan you want to see on first down. Not on third and short after a big run on first down.
Yeah, you gotta maintain on the early downs. You don't want to consistently find yourself in third and short situations if you're the defense, but that's just been the way it's played out here today. I certainly agree they need to do a better job of wrapping up those fullbacks on early downs. They do exactly that right there. Is initially spinning off a defender was Callahan, but then brought down, and now we're going to have a couple of late flags as some pushing and shoving comes in from the Rowan defense, and that's just pure frustration.
Yeah, I think we're going to get offsetting penalties here. It looks like Akins was actually held or something at first, but then in retaliation he pushed a Springfield player. So.
And you are exactly right. A little bit of pushing and shoving from both sides there, because that's going to be offsetting penalties, and A.J. Akins will come off for at least a moment.
Yeah, in football, emotions are always high. You can't do stuff like that, because the refs most of the time aren't going to see the first thing that happens. They're going to see the retaliation to it.
And exactly right, it was the retaliation, and if Rowan didn't push back in that situation, you're pushing Springfield back into a long yardage situation on their offensive drive, and now you nullify that. So now 2nd and 9 for Springfield with just under 12 minutes left to play here in this final quarter of action. So the toss over the left side once again, it's DeGear, and DeGear picks up the first down. And those pitches to the left side to DeGear have they haven't been overusing it really, but when they decide to go to it, it's been an effective 10-yard gain almost every time for Springfield.
If their fullback dives weren't as successful as they were today, I think they would be doing that a lot more, because the Rowan cornerbacks are not doing a great job of fending off the blocks and setting the edge.
It's now first down here for Springfield at their own 47-yard line. Handoff to Callahan, who's going to just get past midfield.
Jim Callahan carries. Mike Showing on the tackle. Gain of 3, 2nd and 7.
So 2nd down and 7 here for Springfield. Wells under center, motion in the backfield, and Whistle's going to stop this play short. And it's going to be a delay of game on Springfield, which will push them back 5 yards.
So penalty 2nd and 12.
So it'll be 2nd and 12 now for Springfield, as clock winds down to under 10 minutes now. Pitch right side. Lots of room to run for Springfield. That's Cashwell Doe, and he's going to get in the end zone for a touchdown.
Isaiah Castro Doe carries.
So a 50-plus yard run for Isaiah Cashwell Doe, and Springfield is up big now.
That was cash money for Springfield there.
You love these puns.
Young money, baby.
So 45-17 now, and then pending the extra point for Springfield. We haven't
44
seen
touchdown run.
many carries from Cashwell Doe so far in this game. He's only carried it for 4. He's only had 4 attempts, but making that one count. And that for attempt number 5.
Yeah.
Hutra set to kick, and the extra point is good.
Kick is good.
So 46-17 now in favor of Springfield, and just a frustrating effort here for the Profs defense.
Line Hayes, Jerry Carlstrom.
Yeah, it's kind of rough being a Prof fan today, I'd say. But I'd also like to point out that, you know, Springfield has been playing just about a perfect game on offense. And, you know, it sucks to have to be against Rowan, but seeing just well-executed football like this, it's a treat to watch.
So Rowan will be set to receive now as they trail big here in the 4th quarter. Back to receive is Karlstrom. And brought down at the 20-yard line.
Jerry Carlstrom on the return. Prof start the possession at their own 20-yard line.
Kind of feels like a lot of juice has left the building and the field.
It's just been a performance where Rowan, they just haven't had their best effort today. Springfield kind of came out and, you know, punched them in the mouth. But on the bright side for Rowan, you know, this is not an NJAC game.
Exactly.
So it doesn't count towards making the playoffs. However, you know, you didn't play football last year. You'd love to come out and get that first win, as now Husney is going to look deep for Maldonado and just over the head of Maldonado. So still plenty of time to bounce back for NJAC competition. You know, Coach Accorsi, when talking to him, he said the idea with scheduling such a tough 3 games to start would be that to harden the team a little bit. And if a performance like this doesn't harden your team and kind of make you mentally tough, I'm not sure what will. So hopefully there's still positives to be gained from this, as Husney now is going to fire right side and instantly brought down is Eddie Jamison.
Yeah, no, looking at this team, I don't think they're a complete loss. You know, they've definitely struggled in this game, lost last week. But like you said before, these games aren't, you know, NJAC, so they still have a chance to make a run in the conference. And, you know, I kind of wonder how they're going to do against Salisbury when they play them. What adjustments did they make from today to that game?
Husney steps back to fire. Looking down the sideline, fires to Maldonado, who's going to be right around the first down marker, and they're going to give him the first down.
Gain 12 on play. First down, Rowan. 30-yard line.
So first down for Rowan here. So 46-17 here. Springfield leads it. And busting up the middle for a gain of 6 is Andy.
Gain 6, second and 4.
Gonna Gonna be 2nd and 4 now for the Profs. Husney rolls out left side, looks down for Jamison and incomplete. Husney now looks over for Maldonado. No room to operate, but he makes some anyways for the first down. On 3rd and 5, Maldonado catches it right around the line of scrimmage and just kind of wiggles his way forward for a first down.
Yeah, you know, to me, Maldonado, when you look at him with your eyes, he kind of looks taller, but he's actually listed at like 6 feet. So seeing like that shiftiness and stuff there, he's just really a great receiver.
Yeah, 6 foot, 208 pounds for the Glassboro native. John Maldonado, been one of the best weapons for this team as Husney spins forward for the first down.
Isn't it weird how jersey numbers can make guys look bigger too than they actually are, you know? 'Cause I thought Maldonado was at least 6'2".
He plays like he's 6'2".
Yeah. I'm also awful with measurements, so all bets are off for me.
So Husney now takes a snap at midfield, hands off to Hayes, and Hayes gets swarmed by the Springfield defense.
I think a storyline going forward for Rowan is who's gonna, take that number 2 running back spot. You know, with Farah obviously not playing today, we don't know how long he's gonna be out for. You need someone who can fill in and get some type of similar production out of.
And I would argue that the Profs have gotten good production from their backfield in this one, as penalty is gonna stop that play. But if you look at just who's been running the ball today for the Profs between Mike Husney, Ifriki Andy, and Juwan Hayes, I mean, I would not argue that the run offense has not been a problem. I think they've been solid in this performance, but it just wasn't enough.
No, it really wasn't. It was really the defense today.
So it's going to be 2nd and 11 now for the Profs. Again, they trail it 46-17 here with 6 minutes left to play, as the handoff to Hayes will only gain a few.
Hayes carries.
Going to be a 3rd and long situation now for the Profs.
Brings up 3rd and 8.
Husney looking to fire downfield, pocket collapsing, dumps off to Hayes. Hayes has got room to run, and no one's going to catch him, and that's going to be a touchdown for Juwan Hayes. So it looked
on that play from Husney to Hayes.
Absolutely, the pocket was collapsing around Mike Husney. It looked like 3 defenders had a hand on him, and just a little shovel pass to Juwan Hayes, who had nothing but daylight in front of him, got a nice block and just took off for the end zone.
Yeah, we've seen it today where kind of that improvisation kind of hurt Husney, and there he did a great job of finding someone open when the play was collapsing, and it's always good to score another touchdown.
So now awaiting the extra point from Jake Hurler here. Current score 46-23. And the extra point is good. So 46-24, Springfield leads it here with just about 5.5 left to play in this fourth quarter. So with just under 5.5 minutes remaining in what has been a disappointing one for the Profs so far, the defense has really struggled against a very good Springfield offense thus far today. Springfield scoring 46 points on them. A lot to improve on. It's a young team as that ball is mishandled and Springfield able to get back on top of it off a little squib chip onside kick sort of attempt there from Profs.
Yeah.
Springfield starts his possession at the 21-yard line.
So it'll be first down here for Springfield. You know, it's a Springfield offense in last week's matchup against Western New England was held to 13 points. Has now room to run there for a first down for Springfield.
Joe Canizaro will be carried.
It's another new fullback. This guy looks like more like the classic fullback. Short and stocky and just full of power.
Joseph Canizaro, the junior, coming in at 5'8", 230.
Oh yeah, that's a hog molly right there.
The handoff here, he takes it forward again. Canizaro for about 5 on that one.
Joe Canizaro carries. A.J. Aikens on the tackle. Second and 4.
So second down and 4 here. The handoff was faked and kept. That's Mark Montano out there taking snaps at quarterback.
Result of play, first down Springfield.
David Wells' day, I will assume, is over with a comfortable lead here late in the fourth.
Yeah, at this point, Springfield's just going to take out their starters to
And the toss left side, one-handed snag to corral that one in, and going to be a gain of about 6.
Terrain Burton on the carry.
Terrain Burton able to bring that one in, an impressive play.
Brings up second and 3.
2nd and 3 here. The toss right side and gets around the corner for the first down.
Shane Broccolione on the carry.
Shane Broccolione. There's a lot of new faces coming in for this Springfield offense right now, as they're just kind of they're winding the clock down, but at the same time they're gaining a lot of yardage even in garbage time here.
Yeah, I mean, all I really think they're trying to do is run out the clock, but when you have all that, free yardage in front of you, you're going to take it. And these second stringers want to show what they can do too, so.
The 1st and 10 handoff stood up. It's Joe Canizero.
On the tap. Gain yard, 2nd and 9.
So going to be 2nd down here for Springfield. There's a nice play there from A.J. Akins. Bring down Mark Montano.
Loss of 5 on the play. 3rd and 12.
So going to be 3rd and long now. A little bit of confusion going on the Springfield offense at the moment. And Montana is going to get the signal and go back under center. And going to be a whistle, stop that one. And we're going to get a timeout from Springfield before that ball was snapped.
Kind of an interesting timeout there.
I just am going to assume that maybe not everyone was on the same page on the offense. They didn't know what play was going to be run. So rather than something disastrous happening and people going to the wrong place and maybe someone getting hit big because there's not a proper blocker there, just take the time out, make sure everyone's on the same page. Springfield leads this one 46-24 with under a minute left to go, and like we've said, just not the best effort from the Rowan defense. I think we all kind of expected there to be some rust on the side of Rowan. I mean, after not playing last season, it's not easy to come back into the sport of football after such a long time away from the game, but you never want to come out in the field in front of your home crowd and let your opponent score almost 50 points.
Yeah, definitely disappointing in the defense today. I thought at times it really just lacked effort straight up,
So fake the handoff, and now Montana scrambling but gets tripped up. He had a lot of room to run, but brought down just about 5 yards past the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, and by effort, I mean gang tackling, swarming to the ball, stuff that you saw last week against Widener. That just it didn't carry over into this week.
It is 4th and 8. I'm not sure if Springfield's going to run one more just to get the time out, or if they're just going to wait it out here. It looks like so now with 1 second, they're just going to let the clock run out here. Ultimately, like we said, disappointing from Rowan 46-24, the final score here. Springfield wins it. It was a tough fought game for the first half there, and Springfield just kind of took over in the second half.
Yeah, you know, this was a really tough game today. Springfield really just dominated all the way around. And looking on the positive side of things for Rowan, it's still early on in the season. You know, it's only the second game of the season. There's still time to turn things around by the time conference games come around. So Rowan just needs to keep on building what they do well.
So Springfield wins this one by a final score of 46-24. I've been Dylan Siddiqui, alongside me my broadcast partner Connor Brown.
Yes,
Rowan will have an off week next week before traveling to Sal Virginia, and then Keene after that for their first game of conference play. Thank you very much for tuning in and watching here on RTN Channel 5.
We're watching